Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm just going to read some ayahs of the Quran from Surah Al-Imran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون.
So I think we'll start off firstly with a introduction so you know who's who. I've seen a few faces I myself are familiar with, and many familiar faces as well, so I'm sure a lot of you do not know who we are as well. So I'll start with myself first. So my name is Mudassir. Yeah, my name is Mudassir, and I've been in Leamington since 2008, and we're trying to organize alternative arrangements for people to pray for the last 2.5 years. So some of the colleagues here on the committee have been supporting me with that, and I've sort of naturally been absorbed as part of that process in this committee, and looking forward to working with all of you and all of your support, and inshallah looking forward to making a successful masjid for the community here. I'll pass it on to my other colleagues as well. You see, do you want to start?
Assalamualaikum. A lot of familiar faces here, and it's lovely to see everybody attend or try to attend. My name is Ismail. I've been in Leamington since 2016, on and off since 2008. I've seen obviously the community grow. Mashallah, it's amazing to see, and it's amazing to be part of this project and to be chosen amongst all of you guys to help and to ignite this long-standing project. I'm part of the committee, I'm a volunteer, I'm also a part of the trustee. There's 5 trustees, and I'll go into more detail throughout the presentation. And yeah, just thank you for attending, and I'll pass it on to Muhammad Isa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Muhammad Isa. I moved to Leamington in 2017, and mashallah, I have seen the increase in the Muslim community by 400%, subhanallah. Now, everyone had and have the intentions of growing a big or a Muslim community in this area, in Leamington and Warwick, and everyone was also waiting for a spark, subhanAllah. So may Allah choose every single one of us to be a tool to promote this idea and project, inshallah. Brother Mudassir will explain in depth that it's not only a masjid, we're not only looking for a masjid. I'm sure everyone has ideas that we don't have. We are looking for an Islamic center, just like any other Islamic center in London or Birmingham, inshallah. Thank you all for coming. Jazakumullah khair. I'll pass you to
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Salahuddin. I am quite new to the Leamington, actually. Not very new, like 2023. I've been in Birmingham before. So yeah, I moved to Leamington a bit in recent years. It's very happy to be part of this committee to support as much as I can. That's what my intention was to. Is actually I'm not a trustee actually because of my some other restrictions for me. And that's it. I'll pass to another time.
My name is Abdul Hanan. I'm in this town since 25 years. As my other brothers mentioned that we are trying to build another mosque or community center, which we needed because our community is growing day by day, and we don't have any facility where we can accommodate all of us, and especially the place where we can guide our new generation. And this program is heading towards that project.
Okay, so just a quick reminder of what the agenda is. We want to talk firstly about why we are here, what are our intentions and our goals, okay. And then we'll have an update from the steering committee from some of my other colleagues about what has been done so far since we started off in the summer of 2025, and then we'll give you an idea about what the next steps and our thoughts on what we should be doing over the next few months and years, inshallah. And then we'll open it up to questions and answers from all of you, suggestions, even things that you feel we could be doing and aren't doing, or could be doing better than what we're doing at the moment. How you could help us, most importantly, because clearly this is not something that me alone or 5 or 6 of us can do by ourselves. The whole community needs to be united and working together, trusting each other, supporting each other. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. And I think change is what everyone is looking for. If not for ourselves, we are looking for changes for our future generation. We're thinking about not today and tomorrow, we're thinking about what happens 10 years from now, when our children are older and they need spaces to gather together, to celebrate, to pray, to learn, their children. And if you don't make a change now, then we'll be stuck in this rut that we are in at the moment. Alhamdulillah, as my colleagues have said, the community is growing really, really fast. Like when I first came in here for Jummah prayers, maybe 5 stars, 6 stars was all that we used to fill in the Al-Bid Masjid. And over the years, especially since COVID, we have seen such an influx that even the 2 Jamaats that we do is packed out, there is no room. And then we've since started the facilities in the Heathcote Centre, the Warwick Centre as it's called. And even that is now becoming really crowded. We get between 80 and 100 people every single week. And we feel that this is only going to keep on growing with all the new houses that are being built in the vicinity. So your support is really important. This is why we are organizing this, trying to get the community together so that we can all work together towards a common goal. Okay, so that's the agenda. I will start off with the introduction. But before I do, I think what we forgot to mention is that there are 2 other members who could not be here. So we've got Brother Han Mustafa, who is at the moment in Saudi Arabia for his Umrah, We got a video message from him, I'll play that in a bit. And we've got Brother Akmal, who is unfortunately unwell. He's got the flu, he didn't want to come here in that condition and spread the virus. So he's made the right decision not to turn up. So they're here in spirit at the moment. We have their full support and their du'as as well. So we shouldn't forget them as part of the team that has helped us get to where we are at the moment. So moving on, first things first, why are we here? What is our mission? What we want to do is, we want to create a sustainable, multicultural and inclusive Masjid and Community Centre. So when I say sustainable, maybe starting it off is the easy bit, but then after that we have to ensure that we can find the means to fund it, to make sure that every year we get the required funds to keep it running, the support from the community, the actual interest from the community, so people are using the facility rather than it just being a dead building. So all of that is really important. We want to cater to the growing Muslim population in the area for the foreseeable future. So like I said earlier, we're not thinking this year, next year, 2 years down the line. We're thinking longer term. That is what our ultimate goal is. Whether we get there or not, Allah knows, and with support from everyone, inshallah, that is what our endeavor is going to be. So a few quick things. We created the steering committee in 2025 summer. We were a group of 6 or 7 people. We were tasked with the job of going and setting up something that will enable us to work under the framework of. I will allow Brother BC later on to talk about all of the steps that we have taken to formalize everything. You can see some of the information on our leaflets that we handed out on the banner, etc. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. And then what I want to talk about before I hand over is the basic operating model for the project. So a lot of people know that we are working on this project. A lot of people, whenever they meet me, their first question is, what's going on? When are we getting the masjid? Have you found a building, right? And what I want to tell everybody is that that is not our intention at the moment. And there's a good reason for that. So we have been looking at operating models of different foundations, different masajid, different charities all over the country. We have gone, we have visited them, we have seen their facilities, we have seen their operating models, we have studied their constitution, we have seen how they set up, etc. And we've also been looking at properties. We saw what is available in the neighborhood, how much is it for, how do we go about it, etc. And everyone gets really excited when a property is available to say, well, let's just go and buy it. It's not as simple as that. The unfortunate reality is that we don't have any financial standing to go and secure a property which is decent enough for us to create a masjid. We have seen what other communities have done. Some of you might be aware of the Gurudwara that we have in Leamington, the big shiny building opposite Sainsbury's. Some of you might be aware of the Hindu temple, which is by High Street. And the Hindu temple, by the way, is getting a big refurb at the moment. They are increasing the size, and other communities have done it. But how have they done it? They haven't had an angel investor come and suddenly and say, here's the money, go and build the facility. It's been years and years of the community working together and collecting money, having trust in the people running the facility to say, our money is going to be ring-fenced and it will be utilized at the right point. So for those who might not be aware, the Sikh Gurudwara, they collected money. I think they collected about 11 million pounds. It took them 30 years to collect the money. So the community had the trust in their leaders and in their committee to say, we're going to keep pumping this money into the project until it is at a stage where we can get our own facility. And look what they've done. It took them a long time, but they did it. And that's the model that we have decided we need to operate upon. So initially, what we want to do is, we want to, under the framework of our organization, using the bank account detail and the ring-fence funding that we have, which nobody can withdraw, unless all the trustees have signed on to the document, we want to ensure we collect enough funds so that we can secure a building. We're looking at opportunities around, we think, to get a decent sized building, we need at least £1 million to purchase the property, and then to keep it running, we have to ensure that we have the funds coming in. So at the moment, we can't tell you when we're going to get it, where we're going to get it. What we can tell you is our intention, inshallah, is to collect the funds to secure a property which will be future-proof, sustainable, and which the whole community can enjoy. As Brother Muhammad Isa said initially, we're not looking to just create a masjid. Right? It's not just a place where you can go and pray and go back home. We already got something like that, right? We got the Al-Bayt Masjid. And if you go there, apart from Jummah, Ramadan, Eid, there's plenty of room for everybody. Right? You can always go and find space to pray. But what we're looking for is what else do we need to offer as part of the community center. So a madrasa and education, community center where the youth can come in and interact with each other, facilities for women, children, elderly, facilities like a death committee, burial facility, etc. All of this is missing in Leamington. And then it's about time that we all make an effort to get this all started so that not only us, but also our future generations can benefit from it. So that is what we are trying to do. We'll talk a little bit more about all of the steps that we have taken. So I'll move on to the next slide. So in terms of the action so far, I talk about Al-Bir, message from Hani, and then hand over to DC and Muhammad Isa for the next steps.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The video's not working yet.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just sending a message to you from the Haram. I'm really excited. I've been doing my dua for our beautiful, inshallah, Leamington Spa Islamic Centre. And we really want to build the most beautiful for families and the community, so Islam can be practiced beautifully and spread amongst the community as it should be. We're very thankful, inshallah, for all of your support, and we look forward to building the most amazing Masjid and Community Centre. Salam.
Okay, so Brother Hani has been quite enthusiastic and a key sort of galvanizing figure in the committee. As I said, he couldn't be here, he really wanted to, but what we said was, we're better off with you being here and doing dua for us, because I think that's probably going to help us a lot more than him being present here. So I'm sure he's praying for all of us, and his thoughts and his best wishes are with us. So last sort of slide from me before I hand over. What happens to Al-Bir? Al-Bir has been the center for everyone to pray for a long time, and what we didn't want to do was we didn't want to alienate the Al-Bir Masjid or create a separatist movement. We wanted to work together with them. So Brother Hani took the responsibility of going and speaking to the management of Al-Bir. He went and he explained the purpose of our project. What he said was, we don't really necessarily want to create a second masjid. We'd much rather have just one bigger masjid. But it's quite clear that the current Al-Bir Masjid is not suitable for everything that we want to do. The location is restrictive. The types of events we can organize there are very limited for whatever reason. And we said, can we work together? Can we do something where maybe we can look at Al-Bir moving into a bigger facility with support from us, etc., etc. What Al-Bir said is, well, actively we don't want to join this effort because of whatever reasons with the Al-Bir Trust based in London, but they did express their support for campaigning and for organizing collections at their premises. So they seemed comfortable with that. We didn't want to do anything without Al-Bir being aware of our intentions. So I think we have now concluded that they know what it is that we are working on, they understand it, and whether things change in the future, we don't know, but for now the position is that if we want to campaign, if we want collections, etc., they seem okay for us to do it at their premises as well. So that's the discussion with Al-Bir. Some of you might have been, I'm just looking around familiar faces, some of you might have been in the meetings where we said we really need to go and conclude the Al-Bir discussion before we move forward. So that was one of the first things that we did when we set the committee up. So as far as we're concerned, this chapter is now closed. We cannot work together with Al-Bir, but we will work with their support if it is still available in the future. Okay, so I'm just going to pass on to TC now, so you can talk about the setup of the charity that we have. You have to move a little this slide.
Thank you to Brother Mudassir for that lovely introduction and just setting the pace for the rest of the presentation. So as again, my name is Ismail, and I was tasked with the charity setup and the bank account setup. Nobody told me it was going to be easy. It was challenging. We had our ups and downs. It was a very interesting journey where I learned a lot, and there was one word that I really took away from this, and it was called sabr. And for my son Zain, sabr means patience. We started off with a case study where we looked at various constitutions, because we didn't know where to start from, so we needed like a brainstorming session. We needed somewhere that we can look at other examples around us, predominantly Birmingham and Coventry, to see how other organisations are run. There's a couple of them which were very dear to me. One of them is the Portland Masjid and Association in Birmingham, where I'm from, in Aston. We looked at the Birmingham Jama Masjid in Birmingham, and we looked at Ar-Rahman Trust. Those were the three main sort of constitutions which we looked at. We had to study them. We looked at the pros and the cons, the pluses and the weaknesses, and we had to. Is there an echo?
Yes. It's better. It's the phone closer.
Okay. So we had to look at all these constitutions, and we had to think very neutral, because I can see a lot of people across this room, and we're from all different backgrounds, different countries, different schools of thoughts. So we wanted to be inclusive. So we had to have a very neutral constitution which works for the community of Leamington Spa. We had our favourite, our chosen constitution, and then we just worked on that constitution. We had help from a charity in Birmingham called. We had help from a charity in Birmingham called Gazelle Pro, a brother called Shakil, who showed utmost professionalism, patience, and worked with us throughout this whole journey. So I will take no credit, but it's a collective effort and it's a collective credit. So he helped us from registration to application and saw us throughout the whole process. We had two choices. It's called a CIO, which is a charitable incorporated organisation. Just for the people who aren't familiar with the two different types, you get a foundation and you get an association. The foundation is where the trustees have the voting rights, so the 5 trustees that you see in front of you, or you have an association model which has membership and voting rights. Initially, we've adopted the foundation model just to get this vehicle off the road and up to a point where we can say, right, we've got the money, we've got the property, now let's ask what the community wants, and we can then convert it into an association constitution. So we went through various drafts, amendments, and then finalization, various meetings, conference calls. It was a long process due to when we started, it was the summer, everybody was on holidays, then we were waiting for things to open up and people to come back. So it might seem like it's taken a long time, but yeah, it's all for the better. Key points of the constitution, it's available, it's a registered charity, so you can have a view online, you can look through all the points, the way we've created it. It's the advancement of the Islamic religion in Leamington Spa, and it's based on the 4 schools of thought, so Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi and Hanbali. So we're not going to restrict it to any one school of thought. It's going to be open for everybody, inshallah. Originally, I don't know if people who were at the meeting when we had it at the Sydney Centre, where everybody came forward and they wanted to present themselves to become trustees. We had around 7 people who stood up and gave their cause. 7 people were chosen by the community, and then due to personal reasons out of our control, we then had to take it down to 5 trustees. That is also going to be reviewed later on in the year, just to see whether we do need the 5 or whether we can stick with the 5 trustees. But at any given time, the Constitution states that we need to have a minimum of 3 trustees for the voting purposes. So if there's one person that agrees yes, one person that agrees no, then we need to decide with the 3rd person what we do. We've also been given all our policies and procedures. I don't want to bore you to death with them, but the main ones are like safeguarding, code of conduct, external speakers policy, safe recruitment, etc. All under review. It's all available online on the charities registration page. The total cost for that whole process was £210, which was given by all the trustees. We gave all £30 each for that whole process. It is a charity that was helping us, but obviously we're using up their time, so we had to pay that, and it's all been sorted. The charity was officially registered on the 27th of October this year. Are we doing questions now, or are we doing it at the end?
Let's go to the next page.
Okay, yeah. So that's our constitution and policies and procedures and bank account. So you can only set up a bank account once you've got a registered charity and you've got a constitution or some sort of mandate. And you also have to have meeting minutes, etc. as part of the application process. As you know, there's many banks that we can use. So we have to go through like a selection process. We've done research on the main 2 banks that we circled were the Metro Bank, based in Solihull, and the Cooperative Bank, which is based, I think the closest one is the Leicester or Birmingham. We have to think about different things. The main sort of 3 things that we highlighted in this whole process was the bank needs to be ethical. We need to consider the fees, so how much they charge us per transaction, per month, and for X. If we spend, say we have a transaction over £1,000, how much are they going to charge us? And the whole application process, because we want it to, it's not going to be easy, but we just want it to be as simple as possible. And we agreed that the Cooperative Bank was by far the best choice for us for now. Ethically voted one of the best banks in the UK. The fees, it was too good to be true. They don't actually charge us anything, so it's a win-win. So whatever money goes in. Brother, just put your phone on silent if you can, sorry. And the application process was really smooth sailing. It was all done online. There was no face-to-face interaction. There was no paper application. It was just a simple process. But yeah, getting everybody to sign was the difficult part. But it was, apart from that, it was good. And it was so good. Monday, 3rd of November, we applied for a bank account. By Sunday, the 9th of November, it was already approved, and we start accepting payments. We are looking at getting like a portal or some sort of like debit card facility That obviously does come with a cost. We have to talk about that in further detail. And the online banking has already been set up. We've got the bank details for anybody who wishes to donate in the future. And we need to have the account open for 1 whole month, and we then have to have a statement created for us to then start to accept gift aid, which I think is invaluable. It's a no-brainer. For every pound that somebody puts in, the government gives us 25 pence. Is that me done?
Well, we've got a website update,
So website update, I'm going to hand the mic over to Muhammad Isa. Thank you for your patience and thank you for this.
Assalamu alaikum. I've been given the easiest task, alhamdulillah, and I made a mistake. So I seek help from my IT support, the person that's doing my website. He created the logo, alhamdulillah, and the brother Noor, where is Noor? He just pointed out that this meant to be RE because it's British English and this is American English. But alhamdulillah, thank you. We will adjust, it's going to take some time. Obviously, the brother that helped or created the website charged me nothing. So, subhanAllah, I knew he was offering this to Albert, and he mentioned this to me about 3 years ago. And when the idea came, I'm like, he's the person, yeah, let's go to him. It was easy, straightforward. Bank details are there. Of course, the website is going to be updating regularly, inshallah, with the events and any new information. Also, setting up social media accounts was very easy. That's from my side.
If everybody can just maybe take a photo.
You can do it from your phone now.
Facebook and
It's
Instagram
generated,
page,
so
and just add yourself onto our pages.
please
You can just
like
take your phone
and
out
share.
and just see if you can add yourself.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Let me just test it to see if it works.
You can zoom in.
Yeah, Zoom it, Instagram, and Facebook. They're both working. And we've got the QR code on the table.
So as you all know that social media is an authority. Like it's a powerful tool that we want to use. If for example, I want to buy something, I will look at the reviews and how many people are following this page or are engaging with this page. The same thing applies to any community center. Because inshallah at some point we will be holding events and having venues to hire. Maybe we'll have a football pitch to hire for other people so we can generate money for the masjid. So this is one way for others to find this community center. Just thinking for future. So the more people engaging on these pages, the more help we get for our community center, inshallah. I'll pass it on this now.
Okay, so we have been meeting regularly and we've been discussing what else do we need to do, how do we ensure we get community engagement, and also credibility is really important, right? People will not just turn up and give money to someone who they don't trust to be able to organize things and have the capability to manage a project like this. So what I have found in my experience of organizing the Jummah at Heathcote Community Centre is when you actually deliver something, the community then gets this trust in you. And alhamdulillah, what I have found is that things I was really worried about, funding, organizing, volunteers, etc. All the doors have just been opened once you started with the project and you prove to the people that you are capable of organizing something. I've had people come to me, in fact, even now, every single week, I have people who turn up and say, how can we help you? Do you need money to keep this project running, etc. So my takeaway from that, and also from speaking to Ar-Rahma and other charities and Masjid, etc., is that when you start organizing these things and you prove to the community that you're delivering on the promises, you're not mismanaging the funds that are allocated to you for a specific purpose, then that is the key step towards building the trust and credibility which will allow you to take the next step. So with that in mind, we've been thinking about what type of events we can organize. So some of you were here yesterday. We had a Christmas event. So when I say Christmas, it wasn't celebration of Christmas. It was an Islamic view of Christmas. Why we shouldn't be celebrating Christmas. How to deal with the dynamics and interactions with your non-Muslim, Christian, British friends who you interact with on a daily basis. It was, alhamdulillah, a very successful event. This hall was packed. There was not enough room for people to sit. There were children, families. There was food. There was some bouncy castles and fun things for the kids to do as well. So we did that, and we utilized that opportunity to display our website, social media, handout leaflets, etc. So we've already done that. Now, of course, we need to now look at setting up things on the website, as Brother Isi said. So we'll be looking at getting a card machine, getting our gift aid integration, looking at the funding platform, which is GiveBright integrated to the website. So when you visit our domain, you can directly contribute to the GiveBright funding portal through our website. We're looking at organizing possibly Ramadan fundraising events. You know, how do we get the public to start contributing? We found people are a lot more generous in Ramadan for all the right reasons. So we need to provide the opportunity for people to contribute to what we feel is going to be a really worthy cause. We also want to organize events to get the community together. We found that yesterday when we organized the event that people were really bonding and talking to each other, and the atmosphere was really positive. And we're thinking, can we do that for Ramadan? So maybe a pre-Ramadan in early February 2026, and maybe a mega Eid event, right? We haven't had a big Eid event in Leamington Spa. I think the time is right, and that is something else we would like to do. We don't want to make it a pay-to-visit event. But what we'd like to do is maybe have some key sponsors, people willing to contribute, and then we open it up to families and say, just come have a good time. You know, bring your family, your children, celebrate Eid the way it should be celebrated. So these are a few ideas that we have in mind from a short-term point of view. We've already spoken about the longer-term plans, etc. But these are things in the next 2 to 3 months that we are looking to target to complete. And what I'll say is, if there's anybody who has a particular interest, a particular skill set that they would like to offer, whether it's social media, photography, whether it is organizing, whether it is food, whether it is just offering your time and support to organize things, that is really, really important, and we'd quite like you to come forward and support, because we don't want to be a group of 5 or 6 people who do this. We want this to be a community-led event. So if everyone feels involved and invested, I think it will be more of a success for us. So please, this is my appeal to everyone. If you can contribute, please do so. Okay, I think that's all we had to say. So now it's time for you to ask us questions or give us suggestions, etc. And tell us what you think of what we've done so far. If there's any questions we can answer, any improvements we can make, any suggestions, etc. So I'll open it up to all of you. If that's okay. Any hands? Anyone wants to take the lead? Okay. Yeah, we can switch that on now.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
It's 2 stages to the button. So
Okay, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Firstly, congratulations on setting up this initiative. I think it's a very much needed program for the vicinity. I mean, I see Leamington, I don't just see it as Leamington, I see Leamington, Warwick, because they are twin cities. So I do have a question on that note, is that in terms of a future sort of setting up a place or finding a place, Have you just decided that it's going to be in Leamington, or would you be looking at options, maybe possibly in Warwick? And in that case, just curious to know why you call it Leamington Spa Islamic Centre. The other thing that I just wanted to say is that yes, like Brother Madassa said, I think with so much new development happening, I've just moved recently from Birmingham myself, and I think, I don't know if you, I'm not sure if you're referring to the same, I've seen 2 mosques in Hall Green in the last couple of years, Masjid Isa ibn Maryam and Masjid Sulaiman bin Daud. I think those boys and the community within those mosques they've been, to me that's a really good example, where they've been actively involved within the community, and of course they set up one masjid and then they bought, I think it was an old pub, where there will be facilities for janazah burials, which is another key thing. So, and of course, as I said, with so much new development happening here, and there's a lot of Muslim community coming into these new developments, because it's an easy, you know what, new house, less work. So I'd love to know about some of your thoughts on the points I've raised, but once again, congratulations, and may Allah make it easy for all.
Thank you, brother. So, in terms of why you've chosen Leamington Spa as a name, it was just choice. Right? We could have said Leamington Spa and Warwick Islamic Centre. It would make it really long, and I think with acronyms and things like website, it just reads better. So, because we haven't chosen the place yet, it's not decided whether it will be in Leamington or Warwick, or maybe you know, a little bit further away. So that's something we need to look at in the future. But it was just a choice that the committee made based on several recommendations. In terms of the 2 masajid that you mentioned, right? So we have actually modeled our constitution on the Al-Rahma Foundation constitution, which runs through masajid. I personally went and met Maulvi Ishaq from Al-Rahma, and we had a good long conversation. And there's lots of synergies in what they have done and what we want to do. We find their operating model really good. The way they're running it, it's very similar. We're all a bunch of professionals, people who are busy, have day jobs, etc. And that is what Maulvi Ishaq did as well, you know, them being a pharmacist, not pharmacist, but in that industry, etc. So we were quite impressed by what they have done and how they have expanded, and we quite like to replicate their success. We know they have bigger plans as well, but you know, schools, universities, etc. in the country, and we wish them all the luck. But we will be watching very closely and following them. We did ask if they would be willing to take us under their wing, and we could become part of Al-Rahma. And they said that would be possibly restrictive for us, and also a bit of a stretch too far for them, which is why we didn't make on the journey ourselves.
Questions?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for success and easy for all of you. Have you considered renting the place instead of outright buying? And secondly, I know a lot of you are business owners or work in business, so what will the transparency be on the finances of the project?
He wants to answer.
Jazakallah, thank you for your du'as and your kind words. In terms of transparency, the main thing that I would like to point out is that in our constitution and also the bank mandate, if there is any transaction above 100 if there's a transaction above £100, it needs 5 signatories, which is the 5 trustees. Anything below 100, we still haven't figured out 100% what the figures are going to be. This is a discussion that we're going to be taking forward. But we want to be truthful and honest to the community. We want to have that transparency with them to say that, look, any of the money management side of the things is covered, and we came up with a figure of £100. Anything above 100, then it's 5 signatories to authorise that amount. The bank details are, are visible on all our social media and our website. And also, we are going to be having a Givebright fundraising page that will also open up a lot of transparency. It's a professional organisation. We've been raising money for all different types of organisations that we all love and know. So yeah, I hope that answers. And that's a big worry for me too. It's a big responsibility. You're not talking like a few £1,000. You're talking like 5, 6 figures, and yeah, I haven't got the shoulders big enough, but it's a huge responsibility, and I'm pretty certain that we've got a good committee, a good trustee board, and we can definitely handle them. Please do.
Okay. So the other thing in terms of transparency, and it's an important point, right? Because everyone is concerned that if we put in our hard-earned money, is it going for the right cause? So what we have agreed, we need to formalize this somehow, is that whatever funds are coming in, until we hit our target, we want to ring fence them in. So we will not be using it for any expenses like this whole day has cost some money, equipment costs us money. What we want to do is ring fence that for the sole purpose of the masjid. We, as a formal organisation which is registered with the Charities Commission, we are duty bound every year to submit our accounts, which is visible to everybody, so you can go and you can see what our incoming and outgoing fund is. We have a rolling trustee system, so what we don't want to do is repeat the model that we have seen in the Al-Bid Masjid, which is you have the same people running the masjid for a year. So in our constitution, which is available for everyone again to go and we can send it to you, or you can go on the Charities Commission website and see it yourself. We are setting a minimum number of people who have to be removed every year, so we get fresh blood in. They might be chosen again because they did such a good job, right? We're also setting a maximum tenure of people so that we don't have the same people monopolizing the charity and running it, because we recognize the need for fresh ideas to come in, and this also eliminates the need for eliminates the opportunity for people to then be in the position of what they might think is power and just run things the way they want to. So we're trying to get the good habits from all of the other charities, and we haven't quite decided this yet, but I think we discussed this briefly in one of the meetings, which is we want to publish our accounts for people to see in some format, whether we do it in the form of a newsletter or whether we do it on our website. We haven't quite agreed. The website has challenges with the situation in the country now and the scrutiny, etc. that we're getting. We might not necessarily want outsiders to be able to see it. The framework needs to be decided, but what we want to do is 100% transparency. People can see where the money is coming in and where the money is going. And the trustees are not going to pay a single penny from the money that is being done. And that is very, very clear. Okay?
Renting as well.
So,
did you consider renting a building?
yeah, about the renting. We have looked at the renting model at the moment. We will of course consider that again. It really depends upon how the fundraising is going, right? Renting a big property comes with overheads which might not be sustainable for us in the long run. We have discussed that briefly, but our intention is for the longer term. We cannot rent for the long term, which is why we'd much rather secure the property. But it's an open point which we will consider once the fundraising starts and we assess our situation in a few months or maybe a year's time and then decide, inshallah. Any more questions?
Jazakallah khair for your presentation, and I reward you for all your efforts so far. I've been in Leamington since the mid-90s when we initially opened up the Masjid. We had one saf for Jummah and Eid, maybe 2 or 3 safs. So you can see how far Leamington has come over the last 30 years. A couple of things. Your brother mentioned about Leamington, your LSIC LSIC, but actually my suggestion would be make it South Warwickshire Islamic Community, because you'll cover Kenilworth, Warwick, Leamington, Stratford-upon-Avon. All these areas don't have a masjid, so actually you could really unite a much larger area and inspire a lot, because these communities are growing in all these areas. Now Stratford-upon-Avon has quite a big Muslim community, they have their own Jummahs there as well. Question was, have you guys involved the council so far? Have you had discussions or meetings with the council? Because obviously choosing and finding a plot, suddenly something comes available, which is great, is our opportunity. But actually having it in a position where you can use it as a mosque is not as simple as just buying it. So what discussions have you had and any feedback from that?
Okay, so I'll address the first point about the name. So just to be clear, this is not the name of the facility that we will be starting. This is just the name of the charity. You can call the charity whatever you want. Ultimately, when the property is secured, we will decide the name for that building. And we don't want to restrict it to a population, a geographical location, a school of thought, etc. We want to be a diverse, multicultural organization. My personal view is that these are minor points, because we spent a lot of time talking about names, etc. And I said, this is the easy way, right? We can decide whatever we want, but that bit is securing the property and making it sustainable. So we'll look into that, but this is just the charity. Yeah. Okay. So you had a second point about the council. So I think the misconception a lot of people hold, and I know you're not suggesting that, but a lot of people came to us and said, oh, why don't we go to the council and ask for help, and the council will give us a property. A lot of people feel that that is how the Gurudwara is set up, that is how a lot of masajid in the country are set up. The council does have a budget for minority support, but for the whole year, last year that budget was £5,000. Right? I'm sure we could collect more than £5,000 in this room today if we really wanted to. So the monetary support from the council is almost non-existent. The support we expect from them is going to be favourable terms when we approach them for planning permission change, etc. Now, it is all very speculative at the moment for us to go and ask the council to say, hey, if you were to get a property, will you give us planning permission? And their answer is going to be, well, what is the property, what changes are you making, etc., etc. And it's too early for us to be doing that. What we have done is we have approached the MP, Sir Matt Weston, and we have had conversations with him to rally his support, and he is quite supportive of the idea. Of course, we know as a politician that we have to treat that with caution, but he hasn't expressed any negative thoughts about it. He wants to help us with it. When the time is right, he will definitely approach the council and ask them for what support they can provide. We feel that the time isn't right at the moment for us to do that as LSIC, to just say, hey, you're thinking of a property, will you help us out? Because we know what the answer is going to be. Is that okay? Answer your question?
Yeah, it's more that if you find a property, you can't just, for example, say, right, for example, there's so many other factors, if it's in a residential area, if there's car parking, etc., then you might come into obstacles there. So it's just to anticipate those sort of things now.
Yeah, of course. We recognize that. We recognize that. So the vision we have is going to lead us to either securing some kind of commercial premises or maybe some existing place of worship. We missed a couple of years ago the Jehovah's Witnesses church, which was sold by Warwick Hospital. That would have been ideal for us. It was 560,000, something like that, with parking and grounds around it, etc. So that is the sort of property which would be ideal for us. But we recognize the challenges, and when the time is right, inshallah, we will approach the council and the right people.
Questions?
I just want to add to what the brother made. Obviously, I don't want to emphasize too much on the name, but just factor in the fact that I think they're proposing a unitary council, which will be called the South Warwickshire. They're dividing South Warwickshire and North Warwickshire. And when I made that initial point, I just think, I mean, for the moment it's okay, but it feels bit somewhat restrictive. So just bear that in mind for the future, of course. I'm sure you've looked into that.
Yeah, and I'm aware of that. And just so you know, I run a separate trust on the side, the Jummah facilities, and that is called the Leamington and Warwick Muslim Trust. And that was the reason I chose that name. But ultimately, it's a committee decision to use that. But we will consider that. Yeah, let's take it away and decide.
Assalamu alaikum. If you just put a strap line underneath saying serving satellite.
Good idea. We will discuss that in our next meeting with the rest of the members.
Mubarak on the progress we've made on the setting up the charity organization and the accounts. Really, really excited and happy to see it progress further. In terms of the events that have been published on the list, I was wondering if you're going to consider having like a Ramadan organization for just the night prayers for the last 10 nights.
Okay. Yeah, so this is something which has been discussed by a lot of people since I started the Jummah facilities. A lot of people have come to me and asked me if I could organize Tarawih as well. And it is something which is on the cards. I don't know if we'll be able to do it this Ramadan or not. One of the challenges is securing premises to be able to do that for the whole month. So, for example, I run the Jummah in Heathcote Centre. Now that is not available in the evenings because they have badminton classes and other sessions there, scouts, etc. So getting hold of a facility in the evening, because all the sports halls are booked in the evenings, everyone wants to come and play sports and things. So that is a challenge. We haven't focused on this as steering committee ourselves, and I know that it's a popular request. We will have to. I think
we put ourselves in the comfort zone because we can source out. You're sourcing out the Jummah players, and that's one of the reasons we didn't really consider renting a property because, alhamdulillah, Jummah prayers is enough. At Big Masjid and Warwick gates, and also events can happen like here or even our meetings. The first one happened with Nash. So I think we need to take ourselves out from our comfort zone and think like the brother asked for Jummah. For Tarawih. We can ask at least for the last 10 nights if it's possible. Of course, it's gonna cost us money. I'm not sure if the rate is higher in the evening, but Brother Madrasa is paying £70 per 1 hour
for the Jummah costs around now because we've got the women's room as well. So in case people are not aware, in the Heathcote Centre we've now got a separate room for women. So previously we had a hall, maybe twice the size of this hall, and we had to create a partition there for the women. The entrance was from the same door as well. So it was a little uncomfortable for some of the women and men. So alhamdulillah, the past month and a bit we have now secured another room. So back to the point, it costs us about, I think, just over £120 a week for that facility. I personally don't think finance is going to be an issue. Inshallah, we have a lot of people who have offered their support. So if we really decide we want to do this, then I don't think the money is going to stop us. Let us take it away. Let us have a discussion. See if we can arrange facilities, somebody to lead with the prayers, etc. And then we can get back to everyone on that. Yeah, good suggestion. Thank you for that.
And please, brothers, use the WhatsApp group to communicate with us. Please don't feel isolated. We don't have any different brains from anyone else, so you might just like this idea now. We never thought of it. Subhanallah. Please communicate with us and attend the events, and also encourage your friends and families to attend these events. It is very important to have a lot of people in this community. Inshallah, next meeting we want to see like 3 or 4 times people that attended today. So yes, again, please don't feel isolated. Use the WhatsApp group, communicate with us, ask the question, and give us ideas, inshallah. In terms of donating money, what's the next step? With the fundraising.
Yeah, so I think we haven't yet.
Has a question as well.
How do you join the WhatsApp group? How do you join the WhatsApp group?
So we will send you the information. If it's not there, when you finish, anyone who's interested in joining the WhatsApp group, please come and speak to us and we can get you added. In terms of the fundraising next steps, I don't think we have formally kicked off the fundraising yet. We just wanted to have a discussion with all of you and make you aware of what we are trying to achieve here. And as Brother Isi said, we're also looking to get the gift aid kicked off, which is about imminent now. I think tomorrow will be 1 month when we can start now. So we haven't kicked off in anger. The details are there if anyone is really keen to start contributing. Some people already have. But what we want to do is we want to roll it out slowly once we have the integration with gift drive, once we have gift aid, etc. So that people can then start contributing in a controlled manner.
Just following up on that, I mean, have you set any fundraising targets for the next 12 months, for example, for us to work towards?
Yeah. So again, what we wanted to do is we wanted to float the idea to the public first and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Get your feedback. Do you think this is something you agree with, or are there any better suggestions? In terms of setting targets, etc., what we intend to do is, before Ramadan, have a kickoff for that with targets and things. We'll have Give Bright integration, which will also give us some targets, etc., that we're working towards. We feel that we would need around, say, £500,000 to be collected before we're in a position to make an offer. That is the minimum we will need. But in terms of setting regular goals and kicking off fundraising in earnest, it's still to be concluded. We're just waiting for the platform integration to conclude first. Okay? So there's a form going around with the WhatsApp QR code, so those who want to join the group, please scan it with your phone and you should be able to join the group as well.
Assalamualaikum. First of all, thank you very much for arranging this effort. Well done, congratulations. My question is more like a proposal, I think, because I know it's probably going to be hard to get for Tarawih prayers, but I think if we can arrange like an Eid prayers in the park, I think that'll be a good effort. You can do something like where Birmingham does it. What we can do, something we can do this year.
So Eid in the park again is something a lot of people have been asking for. I think we got Brother Chandra here as well from Al-Bir, and they have looked into organising Eid prayers in New World Common. And I spoke to him maybe last week, I think it was, about the council also being willing to allow us to use that. What we need to recognize is Eid is going to be in the middle of March this year. It's hard to get colder and weather is unpredictable. The challenge we have in Leamington, which maybe people in Coventry don't have. If you look at Coventry, the War Memorial Park, they organize an Eid prayer there. That's done by the Iqra Foundation. What they have is they have the luxury of multiple masajid there and themselves having a big foundation and masjid. So in case the weather is not good, at short notice they were able to organize it elsewhere. If we start doing that and suddenly we have a big group of people planning to come in and last minute we have to change because of the weather, it's going to be very difficult for us to bring it indoors. So that's a bit of a constraint. I think what we need to do is we need to work with our brothers from Al-Bir and decide if this is something we can help them organize somewhere, maybe with a big marquee and things. So we have one facility where everyone knows that this is the only place we will pray and there'll be weather protection, etc. We also don't want to split the community. for Eid, we don't want half the people going to Eid and half the people going to our facility. We must rather have one combined Eid car every 2 days. So maybe we need some collaboration with the Chamber on Eid prayers in the future if we can organize a bigger facility somewhere for us all to do it together, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, congratulations on getting this dream coming true. There's a suggestion, since we are a part of the organizations like GIR or National Grid, multiple things are there. So I feel the reachability to the people, we may have some more nominated peoples which are there in this organization, which can percolate downstairs and can bring more people together. Because today what is happening, we are all in pockets. We don't know which direction we need to know, and this is a good forum where we have all come together and we know where the direction is. We need to have more people coming in such gatherings and to reach, because I was just passing by, I saw a friend, he was just staying next to this community hall only. He comes to the Al-Bir Masjid, but he is not aware about the session also. So where I feel that the reachability to each and every people, where we can have nominated people and create a chain. Because this I've seen in many other communities which is happening as of now, where they have nominated in societies, buildings, companies, where they bring in the people. And this is somewhere we are looking at our success, not only in this world, but the year after. So, getting people around would definitely be one of the biggest success factor for us to reach the goal what we all are aiming to. So it's just a suggestion if that can be taken up, and I would like to have your inputs also.
Yeah, no, so Jazakallah for the suggestion. We recognize that communication is the biggest issue. Communication has been the biggest issue in Leamington for a while. I think we are a lot better now since COVID. We've had the WhatsApp groups. We've got the Leamington Masjid WhatsApp group. We have the Leamington Muslim Community WhatsApp group. We have the Warwick WhatsApp group now. And there are some other smaller groups, the Women's WhatsApp group. Now in terms of this event was advertised in all of the WhatsApp groups, not once but multiple times. We also handed out leaflets about this event at the Al-Bir Masjid this Friday. So we have done everything we could to reach as big a target audience as possible. Now your suggestion about reaching out to the bigger companies, we've got, as you said, National Grid, we've got JLR, we've got DCS, etc. So I work for JLR. I am part of their ISOC Islamic Society office bearers group. I'm an ambassador there, and I have used their platform to communicate things previously. I don't feel that this event would have been right to advertise there primarily because a lot of the people at JLR come from outside of Leamington and Warwick. They may be based in Birmingham, in Banbury, Coventry, etc. But in the future, when it comes to fundraising, etc., of course, inshallah, we will be reaching out to all of these organizations. I have used JLR ISOC for fundraising for Al-Bir Masjid and other causes previously. And when we had the Palestinian charity event last year, in one night we managed to collect £17,000 at JLR. So we know that we have a good network there. We should be able to succeed. So I think you all can help us with the comms side, right? We're trying our best to be visible on the WhatsApp groups. We're setting up websites, social media pages, etc. The more people who will subscribe to it, the more our coverage is going to be. I think inshallah over time we'll be able to crack that nut as well about the lack of communication. But I think we've done as best as we could for this particular event. But of course with your help I'm sure we can do better inshallah. Any more questions or suggestions?
Yes. for free for families. I suggest to use tickets and the profits as well. Use the profit as a charity.
So just so I get the question right, the question is about when we get the funds in, what do we do with it? Do we just leave it in the account? Do we invest it in something, right? So we haven't quite reached that stage yet. Of course, there will be a consultation with the right people, with the Islam financial experts to ensure that we can protect those funds and get the maximum benefit from it. It's too early for us to have decided that, but it is on the agenda. It's one of the things that we have discussed previously. But it's a process, right? We only just started on it, and there are lots of questions to answer. But that's the point of events like this, where people can give us their concerns and thoughts and things that we need to focus on. We can take it away and we can discuss. But if anyone here has expertise in this, I can see one of my friends in the back who is a bit of a finance industry expert and is able to help us with that. But if there's anyone else who is willing to be involved or give suggestions, etc., please come forward and we will, of course, we will listen.
Say we only have 120 pounds in the account, that's why we didn't pick.
Yeah, so Relations said you've only got 120 pounds at the moment, so a little bit early for us to start thinking about investing it. But we haven't started yet. This was just, a couple of people saying as a total.
The brokers suggested that future events should be paid so that we invest this money.
Yeah, so if I go back, you can see that we've got Ramadan fundraising and Ramadan event, etc. Now, there is a fine balance between ensuring attendance and collecting funds. Maybe what we could do is we could make the event free to attend, and we can have things there that people can donate, etc. There are many ways to do it. We have been involved, at least I have been involved in the Ramadan event. We had 2 Ramadans go in the Heathrow Centre. And what I can tell you is that to make money from the entry tickets is not going to work. It's not going to give us enough. But I have been involved, like I said, with the JLR Islamic Society, and there are lots of other ways to get the community to contribute. We have held auctions. We've had people donating things which we can auction off. We've had lots of different ideas. We've organized meal things where we tie up with the restaurant and they give us either a discount or they give us free food, and then people pay for a 3-course meal. So there's lots of things we can do, and we will look at this, inshallah.
Yes,
how do you know how many Muslims live in Warwick and then who actually live here?
How many?
Yeah.
Do you?
I can answer that question. I think the last census was about 1,800, around that mark.
Warwick and
Yeah.
I have the list in my car. Maybe I can take it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think when we had the discussion with Hani had been to Matt Weston and spoken about it, I think it was around 1,500 to 1,800 mark or something like that.
We are
I think with the census,
themselves as Muslims.
with the census, we also have to be careful because Leamington has a very big Ahmadi population.
Yes, that's
right. So they are also counted. And I think the other thing to point out is that when the government wants to engage with Muslims, invariably they end up in the Ahmadi Centre because that is a big organization run very well, and they feel that they represent all of the Muslims. So we've had Matt Weston visit them a few times, and it's been in the news, etc. as well. So we need to up our profile and explain to them why we are different and why we need to engage with them.
Any other questions?
Just a very quick one. You can send a message out on WhatsApp when the gift aid is set up so that we can
definitely. That's number 1 on my list.
I mean, we already have the details, right? So people can already donate, but we just wanted to get a feel for what people think. Are we on the right track or no? Also gift aid and our gift right integration is all. That'll make it easier for people to contribute as well. Any more questions? questions, thoughts, suggestions, criticism? They're all welcome. No? Okay, Jazakallah, thank you all for your time. I think what we need to do, so AC Vice reminded me that there are some cupcakes there, so please feel free to enjoy those. We will stay around for Maghrib as well, so we can all break up here. And we got the hall till 4 o'clock, so we should be able to finish Maghrib